The General Data Protection Regulation applies automatically to all EU member states and was introduced in May last year. It aims to give people greater power over their data and prevent its misuse by those handling it.
Personal data is defined as any piece of personal identifiable information that can identify a natural living person. Natural persons have got rights, which is associated in terms of how their data is being used by organizations. And when I say organizations, I mean both data controllers as well as processors. Whether it's our vehicle registration number, our home addresses, our email addresses and such like, the wealth and breadth of information that can identify you and I, whether directly or indirectly. That's how the regulation defines what personal data is all about, and that is the sort of data which is being collected and processed by organizations that the regulation in itself is geared to address and to protect.
There's a distinct difference between a data controller and a data processor. A data controller is responsible for setting out how and why the data is collected, but doesn't necessarily collect the data itself, while the processors must maintain records of their processing activities to prove they abide by rules.
So it's important that organizations understand their status and relationship around the frameworks of data protection, namely what is their role in terms of the collecting and processing of personal data. Are they playing the role as a data controller? And the regulation determines who is a controller in terms of the organization that determines the means and purposes of the processing activities. They can do a lot more. They can go so far as in establishing the lawful basis on which personal data ought to be processed. Similarly, you've got the processor requirement. So a third-party company could be so instructed by a data controller to process personal data on their behalf.
The first course, GDPR Responsibilities, the Basics, was hosted by Isola's law firm for those with little awareness of data protection legislation. And the 2-day Certified Data Protection Officer Upgrade course for those with a Certified EU GDPR Practitioner Award. A panel discussion with the Gibraltar Regulatory Authority completes the course.
So anyone who does not understand what GDPR is about, by attending such a session, they will be armed with the basic knowledge that they will need to know what the requirements and real scope and complexities of the regulation is all about. In terms of the second course, we will be taking that one step further and running a certified DPO course, which is certification is valid for a period of 3 years. It is directed at individuals who are already professionals and fulfilling the positions as data protection officers.
For more information, contact rocklearninggib@gmail.com or gra.gi.